Hi, my name is Jen and I'm with the Volusia County Public Library Hope Place branch. Today I'll be teaching you how to make these beautiful and easy duct tape roses. They're perfect as a gift for any occasion and you can make them in any color that you would like. Let's get some items together and I'll show you how to make them. Duct tape roses are actually very easy to make. The first thing we'll need to do is you'll need to decide what color duct tape roses that you'd like. You can go to the crafting store and purchase all of these colors. You can get all kinds of textures and different patterns. I even found caution tape duct tape, and these actually made really cool roses. So what you'll need to do is first you'll select your favorite colors of duct tape, and if you would like a two-toned petal flower, you'll need 2 colors of duct tape. You will also need green for your stem, a pen or a pencil, and scissors. Today's duct tape roses will be done in our peach color. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to start preparing our petals. We're going to need 10 pieces of duct tape at about 4 inches and 10 pieces of duct tape at about 3 inches. Our first step will be to set up for our petals. So you can just eyeball it because we're going to be cutting them to a round shape anyway to make them look more realistic. So basically you just want 10 pieces of about 4 inches worth of duct tape. Okay. And then what you're going to do is fold it over so you have at least a ½ inch to an inch of adhesive left, and try not to touch it. And you're just going to bend it over and seal the 2 sides together. And it's okay if it has this not so straight kind of ripply effect in the tape, because that's going to add some texture to your petals. So this is okay. So we've got one. So we'll do one more. And set it down. And if you want it really straight, start in your center and then work your way out. Now that I have all 20 of my pieces of duct tape cut and folded in half, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to round off the edges and make them look like more realistic petals. And just in case you went a little bit longer on some of the pieces of duct tape, it's not the end of the world because we're going to be cutting now. So now we need our scissors, and we're going to take our duct tape and make sure to get this little piece. If they didn't line up perfectly, there might be a little adhesive on either side. So all we're going to do is just cut down the side and just make a rounded off petal. And make sure not to touch that adhesive on the bottom. When making these duct tape roses, I personally prefer to use an unsharpened pencil. What we're going to do is take about an inch or 2 inch piece of duct tape and just put it on the eraser, fold it down, and just wrap this all around so that we're covering the inside, because when you look down inside of the flower, you don't want to be able to see the eraser. Now it's time to start assembling our rose. What we're going to do is for our first petal, I like these. Earlier I had said if they have little ripples in them, it's okay because it's going to add depth to your rose. So what I'm going to do is I picked one of the longer pieces that had a little bit of a curl to it, and I'm going to take that and kind of sideways on my pencil, and I'm just going to pull it tight all the way around and just secure that tape. Our next petal is going to be very much like the first. So what we're going to do is select a larger size petal, and we're going to make sure to go kind of offset from where that last one ended. And you're going to adhere that tape and just pull tight and work your way around. Now that we have our center of our rose complete, we're going to go ahead and stick with the larger petals and just keep going offset from each petal that was finished before. So now we're going to put a piece here, and the tape is going to go sideways, and that's okay. So we're just going to keep pulling tight and wrapping it around, and it's just going to keep building out. After only 3 pieces of duct tape, you can already start to see the center bud of our rose start to come together and the petals working their way around. So we're going to keep with the larger pieces of duct tape and offset each piece, put it at an angle, and work your way around. Once we get about 5 or 6 petals in, I like to start making my petals start to move out a little bit more to make the rose look a bit more full. And the best way to do that is we're still working with the larger petals. We're going to look for that offset point where we have to put our next petal, put it just sideways, and you can start to bunch up the duct tape. And what that'll do is that'll start to flare that petal out, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and finish with my larger petals now. So just keep with the technique of looking for the center of the last petal. We're going to go ahead and start our rose petal, next rose petal right there in the middle, and then kind of bunch up the duct tape so that it flares out the petal. Work your way all around, and then we'll start on the small petals. Now we're going to go ahead and put our smaller petals all around the rose using the same technique that we've been doing. We've completed all 20 of the petals all the way around the rose. You can see how it flares out and it's beautiful. So now if you look at the rose and you feel like maybe any of the petals need to be cut down just a little bit, you could do a little bit of trimming if you wanted to. You could round any of the petals off, but just remember, no flower is perfect. So the last part would be to add the stem. Let me show you how to do that. So now it's time to finish up our duct tape rose. All we're going to do is we're going to be adding the green duct tape to our pencil to cover it up and make it look like a stem. It's very simple. So we're just going to take our rose and gently set it down on the table. And you can kind of eyeball how much duct tape you need. You want to take your duct tape at least up into where you feel the stem should start on your flower. And then just a little bit past your pencil. Now that we have our piece of duct tape ready to go, you're going to go ahead and start on the end of the duct tape and put it up as high as you feel like your stem should go into your rose, and gently set your duct tape onto your pencil, and I like to just kind of push it down. Now what's going to happen is this is going to be easy to roll around the pencil, but you're going to have to pull the top tight because it's flanged out. So what I like to do is secure one end of the duct tape on the pencil and just work towards myself. So pulling the top tight, I'll just work my way around, and then as I'm doing that, I'll be closing the duct tape around the pencil as well. And just work slowly so we can keep it nice and neat. Then once you get towards the end, just gently pull that shut. And it'll be a little crinkly at the top, it's okay, because that's how a flower looks. So then we're going to seal off the rest of the pencil. So that is what we're looking for up towards the stem with the green tape. This doesn't have to be perfect because what stem really is. So to finish your bottom, what you're going to do is if you had any tape hanging off the end, just go ahead and bunch it up and snip it off with scissors. And it will just kind of bunch up underneath. If you would like to have more than one color in your rose, just make sure to do half of your petals in one color and the other half of your petals in the other color, and then just alternate as you're putting them on the rose. While I would always recommend using duct tape on your roses, I wanted to try a couple of other different tapes to see how well they worked on the roses and how long they lasted after you created the project. So I used this one, it came out perfect. This was actually painter's tape. This was really easy to work with. It has been about a month. I did use the green duct tape for the stem, so this really worked actually very well. What did not work so well, but is still beautiful, was glitter duct tape. The only reason I say that is because it was hard to get the petals to stay. The reason being is because the adhesive on the duct tape on the glitter got stuck in the glitter, so what I had to do was wrap each petal around separately and take a piece of invisible tape and wrap it around each petal as I went down. So we have a bulkier base on the bottom. It's still beautiful, but it's a lot more labor intensive. And this has been about a month and it's holding up very well. So I think in a bouquet, it would be beautiful. I'd just like to say thank you for joining me during my duct tape rose video, and also to remind you to go to volusialibrary.org, where you can search for books, DVDs, and magazines to give you more crafting inspiration. We also have a Facebook and Instagram and this YouTube channel where Volusia is getting crafty. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you get notifications when we upload a new video. I'll see you on my next video. Happy crafting!